Okay, it should just be starting to go live in places. Give me one really quick second. Oops. I don't know why this is not letting me do it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen to give a little introduction, as most people who are probably joining us are used to me doing. Okay, so we are here doing a Crewing the Ship stream with Asiatic Society for Social Science Research. I will let them all introduce themselves. There are a few more people here than on that list. So very quickly, what is SASA? SASA stands for Save Ancient Studies Alliance. It is our mission to reverse the current downward trend in the study of the ancient world by engaging the public and bringing together students and scholars to share their passion for the study of the ancient world in order to inspire a vast new generation of students. So we do this in lots of ways, and one of them is through making partnerships with other organizations, even like podcasts and Instagram pages, YouTube pages that are related to ancient studies. So that is why we're here today. You can find SASA by searching on any of these platforms. We post basically every day on social media. And this stream is going out to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. For the stream, please be kind and respectful. Listen and ask thoughtful questions. Please use the chat features on whatever platform you are viewing this on to send in your comments and questions. We can read them and answer them live. And then the recording of this will be saved on the platforms where it is streaming. And of course, have fun. If you like what you see from SASA, we are a nonprofit, basically completely run by volunteers. So please consider making a donation. And with that, thank you all for coming. I will hand it over to the lovely team members of ASSSR.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. ASHU, why don't you start with your intro so that we can follow afterwards?
Thank you so much, and a very good morning and a very good evening, those who are watching live from India, and good morning to those who are watching from US. So, as it's very weird to actually introduce ourselves. So, anyways, so I currently work as a president in the Asiatic Society for Social Science Research, and I also work as an academic counselor in Sri Aurobindo College, University of Delhi, and a senior research associate at NCRT, New Delhi. So that's all, and I just hand it over to Vishnu ji, please.
Yeah. This is Vishnu Guru. I am one of the founding member of ASSSR, and I also hold one of the executive chair in ASSSR itself. I am a grad student from Hill University, which is Meghalaya, and my research area looks into the military history with special reference to Gurkhas. Just that about me. We will successively talk more about us and about our organization in further talks. Somya ji, why don't you take up?
Thank you so much, Vishnu ma'am. Hi, everyone. I am Somya Malik. I am currently heading the Department of Archives and Museology in ASSSR. And apart from this, I am currently researching as a PhD scholar from Delhi University in the Department of History. And my topic of research is regarding the collection histories and documentation histories of objects which are placed in the museum, and museum specifically focusing on the colonial and the post-colonial past. So we'll figure it out what all material can be taken out from there. So let's get back to our Asiatic Society for Social Science Research.
ASHU, why don't you start with the presentation? That will help.
Yeah. So I can't see you people. So just please let problem with my PPT. So I hope the PPT is visible. So Asiatic Society for Social
Yeah, it
Science
is visible,
Research
sir.
is a non-profit organization. Yeah, thank you. So it's a non-profit organization which is amended as a body of individual under the MOA in September 2nd, 2019, and is registered with the Niti Aayog Government of India. Asiatic Society, the idea of having this organization is actually based on five pillars that we have, that we are. Like, for instance, Vishnuji is there, Pramod Kumari sir is there, Pravida sir, and Alokji. And so we are the five founding members who actually initiated this entire organization. And we wanted this to grow in such in a great setup that we have a good research institution that cater the needs of the students and at the same time the academicians. So it is more about like providing an opportunity to the teachers, academicians, as well as the research scholars to have a platform to showcase their talent in with respect to the research. And we also been recently focusing upon the fellowship and the scholarship areas as well. So that is all about the Asiatic Society for Social Science Research, and it still is in the process of having a lot more to deal with the policy making, and to focus upon delivering a good research background to the people, for instance by providing internship program and also by having an handbook heritage program where the students really interact with us and try to build a good research platform for themselves in the aspects of providing a good civic society. So that's all about the Azure. So when we talk about the Azure, there are few developments in the last 4 years. Now we are entering into the fifth year of our organization. So now we have international bilateral cooperation MOUs, Memorandum of Understandings with SASA itself, and we have an MOU with University of Tehran Asia Research Center, and the International Institute of Knowledge Management Sri Lanka. So these are our three MOUs which we are working, and it is in the field of social science research. When you talk about the national bilateral cooperations, we have Iran Culture House, Embassy of IR Iran. And apart from that, we have an MOU with Chandigarh University, and this is in the field of social science and education. So when we talk about the organization, one of the most important aspects in these 4 years is we began with our international conference in 2021. It was with the collaboration with the British Museum UK, Iran Culture House, Embassy of IR Iran, SARC Culture Sri Lanka, TIIKM Sri Lanka, and the Indian Numismatic Historical and Research Foundation, which is in Nasik, India. So it was all about the history and archaeology, exploring recent trends and patterns and contributions. And it was one of our successful event during the 2021, which was followed by an international seminar in February 2023, which was more focused on empowerment of women in digitalizing world past and present. It was like it's echoing. It was held in collaboration with the Utkal University, which is again a government state university, Odisha, which is in India. So this was another feather to our organization where we were being able to successfully complete one of the international seminars. And when you talk about our digital outreach, we have conducted so many courses, of course, and the training programs. So one of the training program was NTA, National Testing Agency's NET, which is National Eligibility Test for the assistant professor in history exam. So for the history, so we conducted that in the year 2020, and followed by we have courses like certificate course on Brahmi, certificate course on numismatics, which is one a kind of a standardized course that we are continuing it every year. Apart from that, we recently had a webinar on eco museums and the changing trends, which was held in March 17th, 2023. And it was in joint collaboration with the National Institute of Disaster Management, NIDM, Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India. So this was one of the event which actually focused upon the eco museums and the trends that has been developed in the recent 21st century. and it was backed by a lot of participants, both across India and across the world. So apart from that, recently we have introduced an online certificate course on digitization and documentation and digitization in archives. So this is again a standardized course which we are coming up in the second year. So it was held on 2021, if I'm not wrong. So, and this time we have tried to reintroduce catering the needs, because there were a lot of people who were inquiring about this course, and this is one of the course which actually provide an understanding towards the archive and the importance of archive in preserving the critical informations of the past. So this course has been backed by the students itself, and we are still reintroducing it. And I guess the registration is over. So, and apart from that, we have recently launched online certificate course on archaeological methods, which is the registration is still open. So this course is actually aims to provide the understanding of the archaeological methods, particularly the excavation and exploration practices and the methods involved in it. Apart from that, the kinds of documentation that we do and the various techniques which is used to document these artifacts which is found during the excavation or explorations. Apart from that, we are also trying to provide the basic understanding about the classification and the archaeometry of an artifact. So this is what we are intended to do in this course. And the registration is still open, and anyone who is interested in, they can please join us. But the conditions is eligibility, that a person must be pursuing or completed post graduation or final years, and with the postgraduate or in the MPhil or PhD student, particularly in the field of archaeology or history, with particular specifications, specialization in ancient and medieval history. Apart from that, when you talk about the workshops and the training program, Azhar has successfully conducted a workshop on temple architecture and iconography on January 02 to 06, 2023, again in the collaboration with the Utkal University Department of Ancient Indian History, Culture and Archaeology. Again, it was backed by 60, I guess if I'm not wrong, 63 participants, and which included a field trip to the temples in Bhubaneswar, Odisha. So it was an event which actually focused on the temple iconography and architecture. Furthermore, when you talk about the workshop, we have experimental archaeology, which is running throughout the year. So this is a glimpse of I guess in the 2022 we have conducted this in the month of July in Chandigarh University in collaboration with the Chandigarh University. So it's just a glimpse. So we had experimental archaeology in the field of stone tools and pottery making. So where the students were involved in making stone tools, and apart from that, they were also involved in making potteries. So how these potteries are made, how these stone tools are made, and what are the functions, and why they are important to understand the history of that particular period. And most interestingly, that we are continuing with this workshop on experimental archaeology this year as well. So it is a memorandum of understanding initiatives which is being between the Chandigarh University and Asiatic Society for Social Science Research. So we are continuing with this, and the tentative date for this program is July 27th to 29th, 2023. So this is, again, we have received around like 50 participations, 50 registrations for this program. And we have also conducted a training program in exploration. It was in the Maharashtra region. It was conducted during the month of May 2023. And it was introduced as a very basic, giving a basic idea about how the exploration is done. And we had a bunch of participants, around 15 participants, and they were trained how to explore a particular ancient site and how the artifacts found are be recorded or documented. So this was done in with the due permission from the Archaeological Survey of India, Government of India, and we are expected to launch the second phase of this in the month of October 2023. Now, these are some of the publications. Azhar is also focusing on publishing journals and articles. And apart from that, as I told you earlier, we also focus on the Heritage Handbook series. So we have introduced this long back in 2020s, where our interns were given a chance to write a handbook on any particular topic of their interest that actually signifies a history of a period and of a place, and they have tried to create a book which provide a basic information about that particular site or particular period. So we have around 10 handbooks which has been introduced by the students, which is one, for instance, if you look into serial number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So these are the books which has been written by the interns themselves. So and they are being used as a set handbook which for creating a kind of a what you call a basic handbook if you're visiting these places. So these books can be used as a very basic information for those particular sites. And when you talk about the first serial number, we have proceedings of the first international conference 2021, which has been edited by Dr. Amita Gupta and Ms. Vishnu Kumari Gurung. So this is again a compilation of the articles written by the scholars, those who have presented their papers in the first international conference 2021. And we are expected to release our proceedings of the first international seminar 2023 in the coming month. So these are the publications, and we are still having a lot of publications that are going to add to our repository. So this is something we call our journal, which has been recently having a kind of approach towards catering the needs of the graduates, undergraduates, and postgraduate students, where we are trying to focus on providing them a platform to write their research articles and publish with us, so that they have a very basic idea of how this publication works. And it not only just cater the needs of the research scholars, at the same time it is also catering the needs of the academicians. So we have created this journal keeping this in mind, that it has two sections in it, where one is actually for the academicians and the second on the other hand is for the students. So it goes hand in hand, where the faculties at the same time students are writing in just one platform, and it gives a value added essence to the both of them, where they are both catering the needs of each other. And apart from that, our journal is also having articles which is related to the book review. And apart from that, we also have the congruent series which is going around. So like whatever is happening in the contemporary period, you can write and you can come up with it. And if it follows our protocol, which is less than 10% plagiarism, and apart from that, it follows the very basic criteria of having zero grammatical errors and all. So, and after being passed by the two peer reviewed sessions, then if it is considered as it is considered as publishable, then we are good to go, and we publish usually. So this is a biannual journal. So we usually publish in the month of June, and one is in the month of December. So the June issue is about to come, and we are expecting a next series in the month of December, and anyone can submit the paper, and it's still open for the submission. So now, when you talk about the future discourse, what we are is looking in the next few years. So when you talk about this, we are trying to look forward into the direction of having a second international conference in in this year itself, on celebrating and commemorating 75th years of India's independence, history, archaeology, and Buddhist studies. So this is our basic intention, where we are, as you all know, the India is celebrating the 75th years of its independence. So it's Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. So we are trying to create a kind of a conference where we will be focusing on the history and archaeology and the Buddhist studies. So, and interested international universities who still wants to collaborate with us, our platform is open, and you can write to us and for collaborating with us both in academically and or in sense of a sponsorship. And apart from that, we are looking into coming up with the new courses, which includes underwater archaeology. And recently, we have shared expression of interest for the underwater archaeology. And we will be soon planning a research methodology course and few language and script course, for instance, Kharoshti, certificate course on Kharoshti and certificate course on Sanskrit, Prakrit, and Pali. So this is what we are expecting in the coming months. And the most important aspects that Azhar wants to look into is the establishment of a university. So currently, Azhar, as a body of individual, is just playing its role to cater the needs of the research scholars and students and the academicians. Now, Azhar is trying to actually look upon into setting up as a university to provide a degree courses to the students after completing the class 12th. So we are moving in a phased manner. So for the first phase will be an online university, which we are expecting to get the recognition from the competent affiliating authority in the upcoming 6 months, and followed by the second phase of having an open university, which is a hybrid mode of offline plus online, and followed by the third and the final phase, which is a regular university, which you people all know. So we are expecting this to come up. We will come up with the university establishment very soon, and so that's all about the Azhar, what we are and what we have done for the past 4 years. And if anyone wants to connect with us, they can email or they can visit our websites and social media handlers, Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Thank you.
Wow, that was very impressive. So many projects and so much going on. I almost don't even know where to start because I feel like we could talk for 3 hours about all this stuff, like at minimal. So I guess just since we have so many of you guys here, I guess if like you guys kind of want to talk specifically about a few of the projects, some of the stuff that sounded so cool to me was the like digitization kind of thing, because I know that that's a really big thing going on right now, and something that kind of bridges the gaps between some ancient studies world kind of things and more modern technology world kind of things. But again, I really want you guys to be able to talk about and highlight the projects that you want to the most. So if anyone wants to take it away, or I can ask some project questions, but I feel like it's almost silly when you guys have so much going on and so much that you can talk about.
Yeah. So I believe that we currently the most interesting project that we are right now at Azhar we are trying to look upon is the university establishment. So just as a non-profit organization, we come up as a actually it's a very interesting story that we come up as a journal in the initial stages. In the if I still remember, and Vishnuji also remember this thing, that we started as a journal. We started with our journal series, and all of a sudden we went up and established ourselves in and introduced ourselves into the new courses, which is online courses again, of course. And now, what is currently the most interesting that we all are looking into is the university setup. So, and I believe that Soumya ji is one of the lead member who is actually looking into the syllabuses and all. So, Soumya ji, please.
Okay, it's not like that I am the one who is leading. We are all leading actually. So we are actually setting up a space for research scholars or enthusiasts in history, art, and people who have interest in ancient studies, medieval or modern, not specifically ancient or museology or archives, but we're going to give a platform to the students and researchers where they can bring up with their own ideas, where we can give them a practical approach, where we can give them a space for hands-on experiences. Of course, this will start as an online thing first, because we need time to materialize things, gather permissions and everything. So of course it's gonna be a huge thing for us, and we are coming up with specific courses like a diploma course, a course in museology and archives. And there you mentioned that the digitization project caught your attention, so I would take that up too. uh, Specifically, when we talk about digitization today, we are in this 21st century. We are in that modern world where everything is being computerized, where everything is being digitized now. All the major, even the major museums in the world are digitizing their collections and archives so that it reaches out to the world. It's not the similar pattern where it was being followed in the 19th century or 20th century, where it was only accessible to only specific group of people who had connections, or who used to travel from a very far place and then take permissions and could see the archives or the collection. But now it is all in our computer screen, and not just on our screen, in a 3D, it is a 3D experience as well. So 3D printing has come up, there's 3D visualization, AI has come up, and VR is also act as a value addition to this aspect when it comes to digitization. So for example, if I talk about one of the very esteemed collection of India, here we have from the Harappan culture, Harappan civilization. So it is all there in the museum. If a person comes to Delhi and look out for materials like this, they can only access. But what if we bring out that collection in a digitized version, in a 3D view, in a 3D space, so that a person can see that little dancing girl from that Harappan civilization from the backside, and what it looks like? It actually is this much in size. If we see pictures, we see, like for example, if we talk about that Mona Lisa painting, we don't know how big is it. Like if it is digital, when we go there and we say, oh, this is,
That's a great example. It's way smaller than everyone
yeah,
thinks.
it's
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
smaller.
The 3D digitization of things is really such a cool thing, and it gives a lot of people much more access to be able to study that stuff too. Like not only see it, and people who want to partake in that world, and not just, but in that kind of way, but people who study those things, like all of a sudden you have access to be able to study something that might have been more intangible for you before, again because of travel limits. Everything costs so much money when you start doing stuff like that. So yeah, that's why I thought that project was really cool. This huge thing for getting people access, which of course is what SASA is all about too.
Yeah, and accessibility as well. If we talk about digitization, it will give accessibility and visibility or inclusivity to almost everyone. Even if there's a person who has issues, like for example, he or she cannot travel because of some medical conditions or something like that. At least that person can access things from where they can.
Yeah.
It's very important nowadays. I guess it should be very inclusive and accessible to everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we should keep talking for at least a few more minutes, because again, I'm sure you guys have more stuff that you want to keep talking about. But I will kind of leave it up to you of which things you want to focus on again, because we definitely should come on and do another stream like this and keep digging into some of your different projects more specifically. We also have our conference coming up at the end of July. I'll put a little thing on the screen for that. Maybe if you want to talk a little bit more about your conference again, that's sounds like a very lovely, like a more accessible thing, this international conference that you have, or anything. You guys had so many projects that you talked about, so I won't limit you.
The thing is, I just forgot to mention this. We also have one of the dream project with SASA itself, which we are still expecting you to come up with, which is RKO Gaming. So I had this discussion with David earlier. So we are might be one of our dream project that we should work together and let's build an RKO Gaming in Indian perspective, so we can.
Yeah, for those of you who are watching who are familiar with SASA is very big into RKO Gaming. We have a few different projects that are focused on it. So I already know that people would be very interested in that. If any of you ever want to come on a stream, we live stream every Friday. If any of you ever want to come on a stream and focus on a certain game that is in your area or it interests you, please do reach out to us and let us know. And / the rest of the world. Yes, we stream. RKO Gaming, in case you don't know, is basically using video games and more so digital media type things to teach about history in general, ancient history, etc. So we find it very fun, and we also make learning modules that are for like classrooms that have all the materials that go along with it. So I'm sure that's what we're talking about here, is getting together and doing something like that as well, because again, it's more tangible to teachers who are all setting up like your guys' courses that you make and stuff. Like, that's a lot of work for teachers, setting up lesson plans, setting up what their homework will be, setting up all this stuff. So that's kind of what our modules do, is like giving them a package of all of that together to make it easy to use. So it sounds like a lot of the stuff that you guys do too is like in that lane of like making it more accessible to people, making it easier to use for people so that they can actually implement it and like share this knowledge with more and more people. And that's amazing.
So we are expecting that we create a module, particularly in Harappan civilization, maybe. And yeah, Vishnuji, please.
Yes. Since two of my colleagues have already talked about being proud of establishing a research-oriented organization, right? I think one of the things I would like to draw our attention is the handbooks that our president has just talked about. Our interns coming up with such diverse work. Ms. Lauren, you should have an eye. You should keep an eye on that handbooks. This is one of the handbooks that we are launching. I think, Aishuji, we have more sets of handbooks which are coming up. Such interesting, Lauren. One of my intern was one Living Root Bridge. It's very popular northeast part of particularly Meghalaya. So you see how intricately those are constructed, without the help of the present day technology. How a tribe which is very far in the interior part of India has managed to something so intricately, so beautifully constructed a bridge out of roots of the tree. And my has worked on that. I think similarly like that have worked. One thing that I really love, and that is one thing is very favorite on my part, is mentoring and collaborating with these minds who presents you ideas that you never thought in that direction. So maybe that handbooks we need to discuss more maybe in the future streams. Maybe we'll have another stream dedicatedly only to our handbooks, where we will call our turns and we can have discussion on it.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds great to me. I also run communication, so email me over some links and we can share this stuff around on our social media pages too. That's a little bit more specific to different projects you have. Because that sounds great, and again, right in line with the kind of stuff that our audience is expecting us to be sharing that kind of information with them, of these kind of ways to make learning about these things to as many people as possible. So yay, that's amazing. You guys really, again, I'm just like, you guys do so much, so it's very impressive. Okay, with the last few minutes that we're here, is there anything else that you want to specifically touch on? I will pop up your link on the screen again for anyone watching who wants to go sign up for some of these courses and things like that and learn more.
Yes, of course. We are actually coming up with many workshops, online courses, certificate courses, so that not just people in India, but across the world reach to us be a part of our organization, and even they can intern with us. So because right now we are actually living in this online world, we can do stuff from like remotely, we can do that. So it'll give a new or a broader perspective of that particular intern as well, if they come up with a from a different ethnicity or from a different background. So it will only help us, and of course them. So we are most welcome, you are most welcome. We are happy to engage with the students around the world, the research scholars or the participants engaged with your organization as well. And we will be putting every course, every workshop detail on our website, on our social media platforms, so that it's easily reachable to you, accessible to you. All the details are usually mentioned there. But even if there's something missing out, you can anytime drop us a message and we will be happy to answer you. And for example, if we talk about our second international conference, which we are already in planning, we are planning it. So even for that, we would highly recommend the postgraduate students and the research scholars to bring in their own ideas, and related to history, related to Buddhist studies, to related to archaeology, and bring up their own perspectives into it. And it's going to be, most probably it's not going to be in India, it'll be, we are expecting it to be somewhere even we can learn from. So it'll be a great opportunity for everyone. So we are expecting a special conference this time, hopefully.
Yeah. Oh wow, that sounds really cool. So I love that aspect of like being open to, like, you guys don't know that you don't know everything. Like, you want to
Yeah,
keep learning from your
of
students,
course.
learning from branching out to different locations. Yeah, that's so cool. So yes, so for those of you in the chat or watching, again, you can scan the QR code on the side right here to learn more. Of course, you can search Asiatic Society for social science research. We follow them everywhere, so I know that they're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Vice
Um,
versa, Miss Lauren,
so,
vice versa.
yeah. So
I think, Miss
if
Lauren,
anyone, yeah.
if I can just add to what Soumya ji have said, right? For your audiences or for people who are watching, one way you can reach us or one way you can connect to us more privately is through your research. So, first way of writing, first way of connecting is please send your research papers to us because publish those papers. Of course, you have to go through scrutiny and you have to pass jurism test. That I think publishing with us is very smooth. The team is very efficient, so it doesn't take a lot of time with us, education in particular. Other than that, I think they can also join live discussions on happening through webinars and conferences and seminars. They can through that, as Soumya ji has already mentioned, they can also intern with us. Just now we have finished our summer internship. Can look forward for the winter internship, and also Azure is very much open to having funding. So, is any organization who wants to fund more projects with us, who wants to invite us for any kind of other the minute projects, then we are open to all of that. So please write to us. Our team is very effective. Our team is very quick. So we will get back to you as soon as we saw our members. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well,
Yes.
thank you guys so much. I'm very sure we will come on and do another stream because there's so many things that we could continue talking about. Anyone want to add anything else before we end the stream? Again, these streams are recorded, so you can go back and watch it later or share the link and stuff later on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to what Vishnuji has mentioned. So our intention program, we started in the, I guess if I'm not wrong, in year 2021. And earlier we had a volunteer internship program. And over the phase, we have now giving a fellowship, which is not too much, but it's very nominal. And usually our internship is all focused on work from home. So it's you don't need to come in our office and do the work. So it's a work from home, and I believe that the people from the rest of the world can also join us and they can share their valuable inputs. And our Heritage Handbook series is not just restricted to India, it includes all over the places. So anyone from any places in the world can come up with their own idea and what they want to work on. And the only important criteria that we follow is the checking of the factual authenticity of the particular thing that you are writing. So in order to make sure that the person who is writing is also in a safe hand, so that's the only condition. Other than that, it's open for everyone, anyone who is interested in doing research and write papers. So as Vishnuji already said, you're most welcome. Submit your research article on our email ID, or you can pop up, or you can just contact us, Somya ji or Vishnu ji. They're all available all the time, so you can just contact them and they will be ready to help. So I guess, and this is something that I just wanted to mention, that we are expecting to start a good collaboration with SASA in terms of RKO Gaming, and also we can also collaborate in the upcoming conferences if that happens. It would be really nice, and it should actually be helpful for the students who are pursuing PhDs.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. We will be in chats about things more, I'm very sure. So okay, thank you all for joining us. We're gonna end the stream, but again, please do scan the QR code, click the links in the comments to reach out to people from this team. Follow their pages, follow and subscribe. And thank you all for joining us. We will see you next time. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Florence.
Thank you so much.
And thank you,
Thank